why do valuable technology investments fail to deliver if finance isn't set up to leverage them properly?
Yeah, I'd say there's two sides, right? There's the initial implementation where if that doesn't go well, you don't get what you need out of it. And then there is the other ones where maybe initially the implementation was done well, but over time it's not maintained. So looking at the first case where you go through a large implementation and things don't really shake out the way that you want it, a lot of times when we come in after the fact to figure out what had happened and help fix some of those implementations, a lot of times, again, it comes down to they're really just trying to re-architect old processes into a new solution. And I think at the end of the day, with these new cloud solutions, you're essentially buying a rocket ship and you got to figure out what do you really want to do to fly this thing? And there's kind of stages to that, right? There's the big bang of maybe our processes aren't really great. And now we want to try to just, fly to the moon in one fell swoop. Or do we want to methodically plan this out and phase it out to where, we start driving the car first, then we start flying the plane, then we're shooting off to space here. And so I think that's where, again, either figuring out from your processes today where you want to go to and then the right path to get there is absolutely critical. And that's the gap that we see a lot of times where it's either try to do too much all at once and the skill set wasn't there to maintain it and own it. Change management wasn't there to own it. And the right leadership wasn't behind it to drive it forward, both across the finance and the IT side, right? Because it is a joint effort. And so that's that piece. And then the other thing we see all the time is you'll see organizations where they'll go through a successful transformation, but it's a marathon at the end of the day, not a sprint. And so you need to constantly be keeping those systems alive, updated, keeping people trained up on those solutions and having them constantly evolve with the business processes. I think over COVID, we saw it. I mean, the amount of changes that organizations went through, it was accelerated by, a 7-year time frame in 1 year where the number of acquisitions, divestitures that happened, the change in business models, supply chain constraints. Now we're in this new era where tariffs are on, tariffs are off, right? Supply chain shock everywhere, currency shock everywhere. Being able to own and maintain your solutions to be able to handle those new business environments that are constantly occurring here, that's what's going to make the organization successful. So it's that muscle memory and the fact that transformation's never ending. Unfortunately, it is, we see this again as a trend almost every year where digital transformation is a trend. Well, I think it's a job responsibility now at this point. Certainly it'll go up and down, right, in terms of the level of effort, but your finance team needs to constantly be moving the ball forward with these systems in order for them to stay valuable, right? It's like performing maintenance that needs to be constant.